comparison video, not necessarily between the two markers themselves, but just the general idea of a high-end marker compared to a lower-end marker. So we're just going to compare the differences and what you get out of each marker, and then you can make a choice on whether you'd rather have a high-end or a low-end. So we'll show you. I'm just going to put this up here, and I'll hold the markers and talk about a bit about each. So first off, you have the invert mini. So this is like a basic starter package for mini, kind of. You have the 62 3000 psi tank. Actually, no, this is 48 3000 psi Ninja tank with a basic cover. This is a lower grade tank. 4500 psi tanks are generally the ones you're going to want to go with. They're higher quality. They can hold more air. They're generally lighter. This tank, though, is actually fairly light, but it's sort of like a Steely, or actually, I guess it is a Steely, but it just feels kind of like a carbon fiber because it is pretty light for being a Steely. But yeah, so that's a lower grade tank. Doesn't cost too much. It's definitely under $100, whereas carbon fiber tank might cost $180. So you have the Empire Magna, retails for $50 to $60 and per leave. It will feed. It'll pretty much work perfectly with any marker. It does have a magnetic lid, which can be nice. Holds pretty tight. The balls won't jiggle out. They won't fall out. The button, it could actually require some programming compared to maybe like a die rotor where you just turn it on. There's an on button right there. You just hold it and you gotta set all your stuff for sensitivity and speed and all that. But for the most part, it is pretty cheap. It's a solid loader. You can it's sound activated, and you can knock it on the ground and it'll still work fine. And it has a nice little anti-jam system where you just click the button again, and it will spin the wheel a little bit. Now we'll get to the marker. The invert mini retails for $300 brand new, I believe. It is considered a lower end. Mid end would be about $500 to $750 maybe, and a high end is basically that and up, all the way up to like a CSL for the new Planet Eclipse gun. So with the mini, you do get quite a bit for only a $300 marker. You get the macrolineless hose that goes up through the grip frame, which is quite nice. And some high ends don't even have no macro lines going through it. You get a nice little gauge to show you what your marker is operating at. You don't need a pressure tester or anything like that. You can just see it right there. You do get a clamping feed neck, which is good. So any loader will fit there and it'll stay tight. Like, you can't really turn this. It doesn't move at all. You get 3 or 4 board settings. You get semi-auto, you get ramping or PSP, you get NXL full auto, and you also get Millennium mode. So basically it covers the 3 main modes you would need when you're playing in a game, which is semi, PSP, and MXL, or not NXL, Millennium. So those are the 3 main tournament modes you would need. This is not the stock barrel, this is an upgraded barrel. It's not the nicest upgrade barrel either, but essentially the invert mini only comes with a 12-inch barrel. Not the greatest, not the most accurate, so that's definitely something you want to upgrade right out of the box. For the most part, the mini, like I said, it is a fairly good gun. The trigger on it isn't the greatest either. I don't like the activation for the trigger. It's just not my favorite, and it's also kind of hard to access the board. You have to have a little Allen key to take it out, and so it's a little annoying to do that. But other than that, the mini is pretty good. It's compact, lightweight. You get a decent amount out of a small starter package. So let's move on to high end, so like a Die-NT. Now right off the bat, this whole setup actually feels lighter. It might not look lighter, but it is, because you got the carbon fiber tank. This will retail for about $150 to $180, and a nicer tank cover. It's got more grip on the back, better shaped, fits the tank nicer, so that's better overall. It also comes with an on-off ASA. I'm just moving on to the marker already. The mini does not, and that's something it very much needs because it's very hard to screw in the tank. So most high-ends will come with on-off ASAs. So also this is a high-end rotor, or high-end loader. It's called the die rotor, obviously. Much better than a Magna. It requires just turning on, the press of a button, No need to change settings. It's a force-fed loader. It'll constantly feed no matter what. So if you shoot balls, it'll feed. Doesn't go off of sound. Generally, high ends are also more ergonomically correct, I find. See the die NT, it's focused mainly on the ergonomics of the marker. It's got the nice sticky grips with the toolless removal of them. You can just pop it off, which is also something that like no low ends will come with, is something like that. It's got, again, more rubber on the foregrip, so it's got a nice comfortable spot to hold. Generally, high-end guns will also come with two-piece barrels. They're much better for stock barrels. You never really even need to upgrade that if you don't want to. A lot of people still do, but the high ends will come with really, really good barrels right off the bat. Also, the clamping feed neck is pretty much the same as a low end. They'll pretty much all come with the same type of feed neck. Well, for the most part. The board on the DINT is a lot better. It's a lot more programmable than a low end. You can program dwell, rate of fire, firing mode. There's a few other things you can program. I don't remember them right off the bat, but this also gets to like even smaller increments. You can program like 15.25 balls per second or like 18.37 or whatever. It's got like little settings like that, but the Mini doesn't. The Mini just has 1 to 20. After that, basically the shot on most higher end guns is a lot better. This has almost no kick on the NT when you shoot, and it's very quiet compared to like a low end Mini, where it has a considerable amount of kick, and it is very loud. So yeah, just showing you the two setups right here. You can see them. So yeah, overall though, if you're comparing like prices and stuff, you do get a lot out of only spending like $450 maybe for this package, compared to like $1,300 for this. So I mean, if you're on a budget, definitely go out and get a Mini or like an Empire Axe or something. They are very good guns for their price range. Basically, you're just paying a lot for the brand when you get these guns. There isn't too many differences with them other than the trigger is pretty nice. You can change that fairly easily, and I actually really like the trigger on the DINT. You can customize it a lot more than this. This only has 3 points of adjustability. This has, I believe, 4. So yeah, basically, like I said, if you're on a budget, definitely go for a lower end gun. You'll still get a decent amount out of it. Just make sure you don't get something shitty. Get like a Invert Mini or the Axe, or actually that's pretty much the only ones I suggest that are pretty cheap, or the GOG Envy. It's supposed to be a very good gun. And yeah, that is my video on like kind of a comparison from low ends to high ends. I like high ends personally just because you get a little bit more out of them, just that tiny little extra. I like those, and I just feel more comfortable shooting with them. More solid gun, it seems. If you're paying $1,300 for it, you should be getting a more reliable gun, which isn't always the case. But yeah, so that's just my little video on high ends to low ends. Thank you for watching, guys. Peace.